Keith, what do you think of this?
What do I think of it?
Youthful outcry.
Well, it's hardly an outcry because they've got their mouths covered up.
No, but the symbolic gesture.
Yes, it is. It is. It's
reminiscent of the 60s.
I'm not that old, for Christ's sake.
What's your name and what is all of this all about?
My name's Kieran and this
Cool.
is about our future.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the protesting in aid of?
Well, it's sort of, well, this is a flash mob, so it's just it's a silent protest.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is that our voices have been silenced and that the whole debate has been a complete non-debate over cuts in higher education funding, and so we're just sort of making a sort of symbolic manifestation of that, while we also having a massive petition drive to try and get as many signatures as we can in against the cuts.
Is that anything to say?
You make it purely funded by you and the individual student.
Yeah.
You've totally commoditised education. It's no longer a public service.
No.
It's no longer representative of any aspect of this idea that it's a greater public good. But it's about me paying for my own individual benefit. And then if you look at it from a societal perspective, all I'm doing is sort of...
But that's the issue, isn't it? The societal issue is, to what extent is university duty to save time? I may not get a job in the civil service, I may get a job in the NGO, but quite likely not to, places there's more competition. I intend to go for it, but if I fail, I'm going to have to try and do something much simpler, probably for less money, and that's the position that Tories coming at it from. And we can argue for or against whether or not university is going to be run by the state, but basically you've got to get money who are going to do this. I feel less comfortable, particularly, like I said, after less than a year, talking against something which there's arguments for and against, and I don't think there's a conclusive enough answer.
The thing is, you talk about duty, the duty of the government, right? And we can argue till the cows come home about that. What I'm interested in about the consequences. I think by not funding higher education,
What's the worst case scenario?
what's the worst case scenario? That in a time where you've got a serious financial crisis, and you need to seriously think about how we're structuring government and how we're going to achieve better policies of social justice, how we're going to manage a welfare state on lower budgets. We need the humanities. We need people who can bring up and at exactly the point when we need the next generation to come through on it.
I'm beginning to be sold. Yeah.
Sign the petition.
On the basis that what you're speaking against in terms of restructuring is basically against slashing funding for the humanities, which is things like language and stuff, as well as what we're doing, and social stuff. And you're right about social justice, to be sure.
It's also
on that basis, rather than on a financial basis, I will sign the petition.
I think what he's trying to do is good for the country. I understand that people have got this criticism against cuts, but you know, we've got the biggest deficit here. We've got to deal with it. I understand that certain sections are targeted more, and maybe they should be, you know, looked at more specifically. But on the whole, the concept, we've got a cut, and I'm afraid, you know, we're all in it together.
Are we?
We are in it all together because everyone's having to take a cut, you know.
But does it affect everyone?
Well, it is affecting everyone. Everyone's in it together.
Yeah, I know, but I think proportionately, does it affect everyone?
Well, it is. I mean, my nan, she's been affected. She's not getting a real rate in her pension.
Yeah.
She's not complaining. She's grumbling about it, but she's not going out protesting. You know.
Do you think there's anything wrong with protesting?
I've got nothing wrong with protesting.
Do you think your gran should be out protesting?
Well, you know, there are better ways of doing it, like lobbying your MP.
Does she lobby her MP?
Of course she does. She lobbies the Right Honourable Peter Aldous of Waveney.
Is he honourable?
He is honourable.
In what respect?
You know, he makes protests in,
so he
in the
protests.
right channels. In the right channels. In the right.
So what's the right channel? This is peaceful. Look, they can't even say much. Other than, as long as you can read, I think you get the message.
So you think what happened at Millbank was acceptable?
Did I think what, sorry?
What happened at Millbank?
Wait, which incident in particular?
Well, the one when they trashed up the Conservative headquarters and tried to trash the Liberal Democrat headquarters.
Yeah, she was standing right there.
You know, in that making the point go bad. You know, you're losing your point because of a minority of people.
Oh, exactly. That's the key point, isn't it? It's a minority. So I think you said it there. It wasn't.
But they just tarred us with the whole brush.
But that's the picture that you're painting by defining the whole. Well, yeah, because you just said that the majority.
Everyone's got that picture. The media puts students are anarchists.
Well, do these look like anarchists? These people?
Well,
these are faces of anarchists?
I'm saying the government, they've had to take hard decisions. Higher education is an example, but it's only just one example.
How do you think we should be more prosperous as a country?
I feel, you know, we are going to be more prosperous. Look at the 80s and
what is prosperity?
You know, privatisation.
So privatisation is prosperity?
It is.
Do you define prosperity by GDP?
Owning democracy. People can own their own houses. Be proud of something.
Can we own our own houses now? Is that not the predicament that we're in? That in fact, that's the very fact that we can't own our own houses kind of emphasises the fact that we're not really in a period of prosperity.
You know, from the
I couldn't own my own house.
We all should have the opportunity to own our own house. Property owning democracy. You know, society coming together to do more stuff. You know, society is the linchpin of the community.
Yeah, look, this is society complaining, disagreeing with what's going on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, do something, not just stand around and protest.
But that is doing something. That's trying to draw attention to the fact that people disagree with what's going on.
I understand that, but you could at the same time say it's, you know, absurd.
Because the thing is you can do this.
Nothing against
you can do this and you can lobby. You see.
Saying is, housing's very important indeed. Education's important indeed. It makes people more rational, to make people more rational decisions. I know people are feeling we're going to have this cut-back society, what Mick Hucknall said in his song, you know, Reagan, the old man over the hill.
I've been laid up from work, my rent is due.
You know, I can understand people feeling like that, fair enough. But it's going to be all of us in it together.
We're all in it together.
Look like bad luck got a hold on you, but it's too tight to mention. I can't get an unemployment extension, but it's too tight to mention.
You know, I can understand people feeling like that, fair enough. But it's going to be,
but it's too tight to mention.
This university could be struck by a plane.
Yeah, by the terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What, because of the protesting?
Well, I'm just saying it could happen any day.
It could happen any day. The more learned end of the spectrum. What?
That's side of the spectrum.
Paul's the one.
No, I'm not.
What do any of you think about it? Any opinions at all?
I think it's deeply depressing that Aberystwyth students don't seem to think that any of this applies to them. By the lack of support that's here today.
You know, there's this thing about the Welsh Assembly saying that they're going to fund Welsh domicile students and cover the.
Oh, that's the other thing, yeah.
Yeah, do you know about that?
No, enlighten me.
Well, it came out. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Where any student based in Wales from Wales, the extra cost will be covered by the Welsh Assembly, which sounds really, really good because it means that if you're from Wales, and you go to Cambridge or Liverpool or Manchester, and they're charging £9,000 a year, you'll still only have to pay just over £3,000.
Not bad, is it?
But it sounds good, but you ask where the money's coming from.
Where's the money coming from?
Stop slicing the education grant to universities in Wales. So it means that the infrastructure, the funding for teaching, the funding for all those things that we need to provide first-class, top-quality education will be affected badly. So in other words, it's all very well if you're a Welsh student and you're going to an English university, but if you're a Welsh student and you're hoping to go to a Welsh university, then you'll probably have less universities to pick from because several of them will close, and the quality that are able to offer will be significantly affected.
What do any of you propose could be done to sort the mess out? Anybody?
I think it's got to be harder to get into university. The standards have got to be higher. You've got
So
to
you
work
think,
hard to get here.
And so rather than cut funds, what do you think would be possible? Or
fewer places in some ways, I suppose.
yeah?
No, they need to increase the budget. They need to increase the... I sort of disagree. I think they should increase places, and they should just basically have a much higher budget for education.
Yeah. And so where does that money come from, do you think? So you think tax more?
We just need to pay more for education.
Everybody pays more.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody gets more.
Yeah. It's not some sort of special commodity.
But there is a statistic that says because of the amount of university students we have in this country, we make more money commercially.
Exactly, yes.
You know, in business because of that.
So sort of from a capitalist point of view.
From a capitalist point of view, universities make money for this country.
Contribute to our place in the world.
And it's a pin drop. It's a pin drop, the funding for universities compared to what they make commercially when they're qualified.
It's quite strange, isn't it?
Short-sighted.
They're trying to characterise education as some sort of commodity, as some sort of luxury.
Well, it's the right livelihood.
Rather than something that should really not be a right. Not so much. I wouldn't describe it in terms of a right, but something that's fundamental to what you are as a progressive being. That sounds very grand. When you really think about it, it's so depressing that we even have to do this, that we even have to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And people are insane. People are almost pathologically insane at home, thinking that we should, even pay for education.
Yeah.
That we should be paying. We're paying for nuclear submarines. We're paying for wars. We're letting companies like Vodafone off for their tax dodging debts. But we're imposing these sorts of incredibly high costs on people who come from working class environment. Anyone. It doesn't make any sort of sense, but people think they think it makes sense. I just don't understand.
Can I ask what you teach?
Fine art.
Fine arts. Are you all teachers?
Artists.
Yeah. Artists.
Artist-stroke teacher.
Yeah. Artists and
teachers.
Teachers.
I'm doing PGCE.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2009.
Yeah.
So I've got a debt of somewhere around £20,000, I suppose. Plus I've still got a massive overdraft hanging over from last year. And I've now come in to do teacher training. But these kind of cuts in education and the rise of tuition fees really sadden me, because when I trained to be a teacher, I want to be able to have a job.
Yeah.
It's
kind of key.
Know that there's going to be a job for me.
Yeah.
And two, I want to kind of teach the kind of kids and adults that are like me.
Yeah.
They come from a normal background. They're not people that have tens and tens of thousands of pounds to pay towards tuition fees. They're people that can come into education.